do me a favor, turn with me, if you will, to the book of Isaiah, the 58th chapter of the book of Isaiah. All this week, we heard a lot of talk about religion. So what happened if you were watching on Tuesday night, the State of the Union, or disunion. If you watch the clippings from the prayer breakfast, or the lack thereof, heard a lot about religion. And this morning, out of the book of Isaiah, this 58th chapter, if you've never read it in its totality, it says these words, beginning at that first verse, ending at that 12th, but for today, I'm going to read the first down through the 9th verses. Shout out. Do not hold back. Lift up your voice like a trumpet. Announce to my people their rebellion, to the house of Jacob their sins. Yet day after day they seek me, and to delight to know my ways, as if they were a nation that practiced righteousness and did not forsake the ordinance of their God. They ask of me righteous judgments. They delight to draw near to God. Why do we fast, but you do not see? Why humble ourselves, but you do not notice? Look, you serve your own interest on your fast day and oppress all your workers. Look, you only fast to quarrel and to fight and to strike with a wicked fist. Such fasting as you do today will not make your voice heard on high. Is such the fast that I choose? A day to humble oneself? Is it to bow down the head like a bulrush and to lie in sackcloth and ashes? Will you call this a fast, a day acceptable to the Lord? Is not this the fast that I choose? To loose the bonds of injustice, to undo the thongs of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, and to break every yoke? Is it not to share your bread with the hungry, and to bring the homeless poor into your house? When you see the naked, to cover them, and not to hide yourself from your own kin? Then your light shall break forth like the dawn, and your healing shall spring up quickly. Your vindicator shall go before you. The glory of the Lord shall be near your guard. Then you shall call, and the Lord will answer. You shall cry for help, and the Lord will say, here I am. If you remove the yoke from among you, the pointing of the finger, the speaking of evil. Just for the next few moments, I want to talk to you from the subject, the Lord requires more of your service. The Lord requires more of your service. There is only one true way to demonstrate the authenticity of our religious service. Jesus gives us a blueprint for it in the Gospel of John chapter 13, verses 33 through 35. And it says this: I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you should also love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. It seems to be these words that are missing too often in the public and private practices of some of our religion. Religion, which I define as the social, ethical, and ritual elements of our work on behalf of the Lord. In a day and age where the word religion has become a dirty word through the ways that it is thrown around as a commodity or demonstration in times of convenience to prove a point or to show one's worth. Those who truly desire to embody the presence of the Lord in all arenas of life are called to do it by demonstrating the reality of this God of love that we say is present and participating in the life of all people. For example, a nation like ours that claims a fidelity to the Christian God must realize it is not evident just because it's on all our money saying in God we trust. Just because it might be markings on a building or statues in the square or what one might say at the end of a public speech or a national address, such a demonstration when we forget the calling of God of a nation like ours made up of strangers and aliens, built on a land stolen from indigenous peoples, supported by the dehumanizing systems of slavery and an invisible caste culture that profited off of a capitalist system committed to increase the billionaire class and disenfranchise its citizenry, does not represent the God of love. Amen. And therefore today, when we tie up and forget our religion through our spiritual, moral, and ethical behaviors that are both public, what I do around people, and private, what happens in the back room. Public in that we condemn people to a capitalistic form of separate but equal, and private where we live out our moral failures in secret meetings through threats and intimidation. When Mitt Romney stood up on the Senate floor, a chameleon like Mitt Romney, who years ago had different positions than he had when he sought the nomination, stood and said about his religion that he had to follow the leading and the commitment of God for what God had given him. And he understood in the scriptures that he had to do what was morally and ethically and spiritually right in the face of the evidence, in spite of the threats and the intimidation that he faced, was ridiculed for taking a religious position. That's why this text this morning from Isaiah 58 is so central to what happens when a nation or individuals live out their religion in ways that run antithetical, which is mutually incompatible to the ways in which the Lord has demonstrated the kindness and the grace to people historically as found in the scriptures and the reality of this nation. In the text, a fresh problem concerns those who maintain a bold public display of piety, whose actions and ways of life flout the basic requirements of justice and goodness. That the central issue of the text is fasting, which is self-denial, giving up for a time period, whether it's food, whether it's television, whether it's alcohol, whether it's cigarettes, the vices, and the things that try to take away our attention. And we fast to redirect ourselves, aimed at concentrating our mind and body on prayer, which was publicly declared in the text by wearing a potato sackcloth, a rough garment, and smearing one's face with ashes and walking around symbolically demonstrating their mortality and their dependence on God. One would do such a thing, representing that they were repentant. They were sorry about the things that they had done, that they wanted to show everybody that they had remorse for the sin and the betrayal that they had done in their lives. They not only wanted God to recognize that they needed redemption, but they wanted those around them to see how they humbled themselves and asked God to forgive. It's ironic that somebody who claims to surround themselves with the best people, like Paula White, his religious advisor, doesn't do what the Bible says. Stood up at the prayer breakfast and said, I don't know if I can forgive my enemies. Had the audacity to take a victory lap and then victimize the very people that spoke truth, yet has the nerve to say, God bless America. Now, the text today would say that's false religion because it doesn't demonstrate the principles of what the Lord requires, but instead it is self-serving. The deeds of fasting in the text are unaccompanied by compassion, is what the Lord is saying to the people. They're fasting, but they got no concern for the poor or the less fortunate, and such demonstrations, the Lord says, are worthless. Worthless because we come to worship, but we don't ever do anything to help the plight of those around us. It's worthless when we focus ourselves internally and forget about the external needs of people all around us. It's worthless to have an America First agenda which does not lead to inner recovery or spiritual health and wholeness. Only the renewal of the inner direction of a life in which you abuse the poor and the marginalized and the downtrodden. A nation, this text, which speaks of the coming light of God that runs counter to the perceived fidelity of the nation. A nation that says it's faithful to God, yet it invokes and does a travel ban adding 6 countries that seeking to remove the rights of those who come looking for a better life. It's worthless when we talk about our fidelity to God, yet the agenda of the majority is to erase the rights and the privileges of its citizens. It's worthless when we lift up holy hands and we declare how good God is, yet we have an avoid issues of justice and mercy. I'm talking about a nation and people that have not fulfilled the service God called us to. Speaking about a nation that prides itself in people on laws and a constitution and the Bible, but forgets the command of, in Exodus chapter 22, verse 2, where it says, "You shall not wrong or oppress a resident alien, for you were aliens in the land of Egypt." Or Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 17 through 18, "For the Lord your God is God of all gods, the great God, mighty and awesome, who's not partial and takes no bribes, who executes justice for the widow and the orphan, loves the stranger and provides for them food and clothing." Our worship and our service is worthless when we don't consider the plight of all God's children. It's worthless when we victimize those who are different, those who God says are important to God. It's worthless when we don't consider that women are not paid equally like men and we do nothing. It's worthless when people are being victimized and disenfranchised when it comes to voting. It's worthless when we have children, over 11 million in the richest country in the world, going to bed every night with no food in their belly. Our worship, our service is worthless. We don't consider the plight of the poor. Now, some would say Jerry Falwell and that evangelical crowd will say, we're not under the law, Reverend Jackie, we're under grace. Yet Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11 through 14 says, "So then remember that at one time you Gentiles, you foreigners, by birth called the uncircumcision by those who are called the circumcision," talking about racial identity and disenfranchisement of those that were strangers and those that may have come through Ellis Island from the various parts of Europe, those that were fleeing oppression in the early 20th century, those who were fleeing communism in the early and later 20th century, those that are fleeing poverty in countries down in South America, trying to make their way here. They were strangers and they were foreigners picked on by everybody. But the Bible says that God remembered them the same way God remembered God's people, because God gave Jesus Christ for each and every one of us. When we had no hope, God gave us hope. When we didn't know where it was coming from, God provided. How dare we not trust in God for everybody? How dare we not see about the poor and those who are disenfranchised? How dare we not train up our children and give them a seat at the table of power? How dare we forget about how far God brought us and we don't go out and cast our vote? How dare we not consider all God's children as important? How dare we not do our service unto God? In this text this morning, this text talks about what God requires of our service as we demonstrate our fidelity to God. Infidelity means you are unfaithful. You are not one who demonstrates a genuine love publicly and privately for the person that you've given your devotion to. When you're married in a committed relationship, you take a vow to be faithful, to love, to honor, and to cherish until death do you part. We say to God we'll be faithful for all that God has done, but when we don't treat God's children, no matter where they come from, no matter what status in life they have, with the genuine love of Jesus Christ, then we've not been faithful to God. Jesus said, how can you love God who you've not seen before, but you cannot love calls them and tells them, is not this the fast that I've chosen? You get yourself together and you dress yourself up every week trying to look holy and sanctified. You sit in the same place every week and you're on the same boards. Your name is on the roll, but that's not what I'm asking you to do. What God is asking us to do is in verse 6 where it says, we are called to loose the bonds of injustice. God calls us to go beyond the doors of the church and fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. God calls us to our service that God requires for equal justice and equal protection for everybody. We've got to take to the streets for our sons where the stop and frisk is still here. We've got to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. That's what God requires. God requires that we allow our sisters to have equal footing at the table. For it was a Mary and a Martha that ran and told about Jesus. God requires that we forget not all that God did for us. When we were slaves, God broke our chains. When we needed help, God took us from Selma all the way to the White House. That's the service God requires of us. God requires that we break the bands, the chains of injustice. Injustice in all of its forms, whether it's environmental justice, where we don't deny that climate change is the result of the ways in which we've done God's planning. We've got to realize God calls us to do justice and to love mercy as we fight the triple evils of poverty and racism and militarism. A service that God calls us to be faithful and devoted to a philosophy like a Jesus. In spite of the consequences, Jesus went around those that society wanted to forget about. Jesus went around those that were poor and those that were sick. That's why Richard Allen could go down in 1793 in the middle of the yellow fever epidemic and see about people. That means we've got to be willing to go wherever God wants us to go. That means we've got to speak our truth like a Billy Porter in 1985, living in the closet, being victimized and traumatized, and now he's able to live as his authentic self, that sons and daughters can walk upright, never feeling lonely or afraid. That's the service God calls us to do justice. That's the fast for God, to feed the hungry. That's the fast to God. Our service to God is to go into all the world to do as God would have us do. Say yeah. There's a service God calls us to where we must give our best to the Master. Give the strength of our youth. Throw our souls fresh glowing ardor into the battle for truth. The service God requires of us is justice for those that nobody wants to hear. That's the fast God calls us to. Not to dress ourselves up to look pitiful, but to have pity on those that God places in our midst. Let us stand. My brothers and my sisters, what service are you rendering to the Lord?